Squeal versus CSS. What's the difference? Which is better? If you had a bingo card for 2023 and you said, hey, Prime, what's the most absurd squares you could put on it? Cocaine in the White House? Theo growing a mustache? Squeal versus CSS. Which one's better? I would have never put the last one. The last one is insane. Okay, obviously we're about to get chat GPT'd, but this is just too exciting because someone literally put their name on this. Someone put their name on this, okay? Two truths and a lie. Two truths and a lie. Theo has a mustache, there's cocaine in the White House, and CSS versus Squeal is going to be a real article written by a real human. Squeal has been a standard for database programming for quite some time. CSS acts like as the window dressing for some of your favorite websites. What is happening already? It's like they know, and yet we still are going with it. Should the next sentence be, hey, man, this article wouldn't make any sense given the previous statement. How do you feel about that? Maybe you should go read something else. I love you. With this in mind, okay, put that in your mind. I want you to put it right here. Now that we put it right here, let's consider the next part. What is the difference between these two programming languages? We all know CSS is not a Turing-complete language onto itself, but it's actually HTML plus CSS. Okay? There's a Stallman quote somewhere in there. There's literally a Stallman quote just about to happen somewhere in there, right? Okay, what you're referring to as CSS as a programming language is actually CSS/HTML. There are certainly some rather stark differences to call in mind between Squeal and CSS. Really? One might be, while one might be used best in one scenario, it might be an absolute abysmal fit for another. Oh, shit! You don't say! Ain't no way. Ain't no way. If you're new to computer science or just curious, ooh, a little computer science curious, about the acronyms Band-Aid, Band-Aid, I don't know how to say that word, about the web on a day-to-day basis, then you are in the right place. Okay, let's look at these two popular programming languages. This guide will cover what they're best at, where to use them, and actually nuts to bolt difference between them. Full name. Structured query language, cascading stylized sheets. Function, communicating and building databases. Styling, web documents. Dependent on other frameworks? No. Developers can run and develop databases. Cannot create web pages. Developers will need to utilize any compatible frameworks or HTML with CSS. Object-oriented? Yes. No. I cannot believe that this literally just said CSS is not object-oriented. Of course it's object-oriented. What are you talking about? We all know this. You can develop classes. You can inherit. You can override. You encapsulate. What are you talking about? I'm so offended at this level of misinformation. Okay? Squeal versus CSS. What's the difference? This could literally be, I wrote this article. No, you didn't, Warren buffering. This literally could be one sentence. I am still tickled just to death right now. It might be an abysmal fit in the other. I really, really want SQL to CSS compiler. I really want this. I don't know why, but I feel like there's something there. I really do feel like that. Select div where parent is some CSS selector. Like, think about it. Like, they're like, we could do this. Like, this is actually possible. It's actually possible. It's actually possible to create a Squeal to CSS language. The other way, I'm not too sure about it. I'm not too sure about the other way, but I'm quite positive we can definitely go Squeal to CSS. Please write it in OCaml. That's the greatest response. Absolutely, write it in OCaml. Let's see. When it comes down to it, these two languages couldn't be more different. They have two different use cases. Their overall purpose isn't at all aligned. That said, let's look at these languages and what they can do. Use cases. I'm just going to skip the use cases and step to learn and career paths. Okay, we don't need that. I want to know some must-known facts and then which one's better. Okay, that's what I really want to know by this AI article. Okay, we're skipping that. We're skipping that shit right out the gates. All right, Squeal versus CSS. Must know facts. Facts about Squeal. Used by massive companies like Google, Amazon, and Meta. Unarguable. Just literally unarguable. The standard in database management languages. Sees usage in every field you can think of. I could probably think of a couple that don't use it. Let's see. Facts about CSS. Has native support for HTML. I actually don't understand what that means. Isn't it the other way around? It's the other way around. Yeah. Makes designing web pages a much easier task. Fair. Easy to pick up. Easy to pick up compared to other web-oriented programming languages. There's that programming language thing again. Just close the article. No, we gotta know right now which one is better. Squeal versus CSS. Which one is better? Which should you choose? Oh gosh, there's that word again that I know I'm saying wrong. Disparate languages have very different use cases. As such, it really depends on where you see yourself moving in terms of learning to code. If you see yourself entering a career in databases, or you just want more fully complete your abilities to become a full-stack web developer, then Squeal is the right choice. There are many other database languages out there, but they all owe some of their structure to Squeal itself. With how prevalent databases are, you'll find plenty of work if you choose to learn Squeal. I kid you not, you're not going to get a job because you just learned Squeal, okay? What am I seeing here? Nobody actually knows. In an ideal world, if you have the time and drive, learning both should set you... Oh, wait, hold on. I jumped ahead. In contrast, CSS isn't a complete language by itself, but could be proved to be a vital component when entering a career in front-end web development or web design. With the world being the way it is... Classic world the way it is. Having a relevant web this is like a phrase that doesn't... What does this phrase even mean? Having a relevant web presence is more important than ever. Therefore, CSS provides a solid foundation for making attractive and visually rich web designs. In an ideal world, if you have time and drive, learning both should set you up well for a career in web development. There are certainly other applications you can use Squeal towards, but providing a complete start-to-finish web presence is still much in demand. All right, so which one's better? Huh? Which one is better? Can Squeal be used for web development? Squeal isn't strictly a web-based language. That said, there is a need for databases when constructing full-stack applications. Okay, is Squeal a complete language? It cannot be used to develop a web page from scratch. Where does it come in handy is styling a web page. You might develop the backbone of your web project in HTML, but then you'll end up using CSS to style it. Okay, this article... Liam, I hate to tell you this, but I really hope that you're also... I hope this image is a ChatGPT design. Because this is like a troll article. This is ChatGPT rage bait. Okay? This article literally makes no sense. Okay, so I'm going to be real. I'm going to be real here for a second. This is actually what I think this is what it's done. Is I actually think this is a new trend we're going to see, which is people are going to be just using most search terms. And then, of course, like meta topics like verses. People love verses. Telling ChatGPT to write an article, posting the article, right? It's like fully automated. Oh, yeah, people love CSS. People love Squeal. People love verses. Squeal versus CSS. Update span. Set color equals red. Font weight equals bold. Padding equals 25 pixels. Where class equals yes. And parent in select item from yes. Yes, it is so possible. This, I told you, going from Squeal to CSS is completely possible. This is beautiful. I've just never been so happy in my lifetime that this exists. Can't wait for the PrimeGen versus JavaScript. Oh, what's a better article? I like it. I like it. Both are declarative languages. Thank you for that lovely update. The name is the Squealogen.